Recording. Hello, everyone. Happy Flexible Friday. Welcome to Deep Stretch. This is Katie. I just want to remind you to listen to your bodies today, keep some water nearby, and if you need any adaptations, modifications, just give me a holler and I will assist with that. Let's go ahead and get to our mats and get a nice neutral standing position, toes forward, feet under hips. And we're going to start with our great big arm circles. We'll do forward arm circles to begin. So we'll take those arms up overhead, out in front of us, down to the floor and behind us, just drawing as big of a circle as we can. And we're going nice and slow to start. And we're starting to open our chest up, kind of taking big breaths in through our nose. And let's go ahead and begin to speed up the circles just a little bit, and we'll make each one a little smaller with every rotation until we get to about a quarter-sized circle with that middle finger. And let's go ahead and reverse, making big arm circles again, but now taking them backwards. Again, paying attention to those little postural things such as your hips. Are you arching your back? Try to tuck your pelvis. And let's begin to make those reverse arm circles a little bit smaller with every rotation. So we get to that tiny, tiny little circle. And let's go ahead and let our arms fall down by our sides. We can shimmy, shake our shoulders out. We're going to stir the pot next. So I'm going to have you put your hands on your hips, keeping your toes forward and feet neutral. We're going to stir the pot to the left or counterclockwise first. So we're going to push our hips forward, take them around to the left, back behind us, and to the right. Just imagining we're a big spoon stirring the pot. Just finding another way to move our body, warm it up with a little dynamic movement. Remembering to take those breaths in and out. And let's go ahead and reverse our circle. Now taking our hips clockwise or to the right. Good. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And let's go ahead and pause that stir the pot, coming back to a central neutral position. And we're going to go into our Cossack rocks. So we can keep our hands on our hips for now or using an external support source. We're going to take a nice wide stance with our feet. So taking my feet about 2 steps outside of my hips. My toes are still pointing forward and slightly outward. I'm going to lower my hips and bend my knees just slightly. And then I'm going to shift all my weight over into my right leg, straightening out my left leg. And then I'm going to slowly shift my weight over to the left, straightening out my right leg. So just a slow alternating there of those Cossack rocks. And I always like to keep my hands on my hips and kind of hinge my chest forward. But however we're feeling that stretch today, we're mostly focused on the shifting of the weight into the right and left leg. Kind of feeling those inner thighs working for us. Hips, knees, ankles. All those lovely joints. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and raise ourselves back up to standing and bring our feet back together under hips. Next, we're going to do some alternating hamstring scoops. So starting from that neutral standing position, we're going to step our right foot out in front of us. Our heel's going to stay down in the mat. Our toes are going to point up to the ceiling. Keeping my leg as straight as possible, I'm going to gently trace my fingers down my right leg towards my foot, kind of scooping the foot and then bringing myself back up to standing. Right foot comes back under hips. Left foot steps out, heel down, toes up. And gently tracing your fingers and hands down that left leg, back to standing and alternating there. Hamstring scoops. Trying to tie in our breathing, so exhaling as we reach down our leg. Inhale as you come back to standing. The nice, gentle, dynamic stretch in that hamstring group. Hamstrings are some of my favorite muscle names because they sound like dinosaurs. Semitendinosus, semimembranosus. Let's go for a couple more scoops here, a couple more breaths. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to center, neutral standing position. And we're going to do our sun salutations just to finish warming up the body before we go into a more slow, static stretching. So starting from standing, toes forward, feet under hips, we're going to inhale, take our arms out to the sides and up overhead, reaching as long as we can towards the ceiling. And we're going to exhale and forward fold, reaching our hands down towards the floor. We're going to take our hands to our shins and we're going to inhale, flattening out our back for a half lift. We're going to exhale and fold all the way again, reaching hands as far as we can towards the floor. Then we're going to inhale, rising ourselves all the way back up to standing, arms out and overhead. Palms are going to come together overhead. And we're going to exhale and slowly lower both hands in front of our face and our chest. And we'll repeat, starting with that inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, rising back up to standing, palms together. Exhale and lower. And last one here. Inhale, arms out and up, reaching as high as you can towards that ceiling. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full fold. And inhale, all the way back up to standing, reaching, palms together, and lowering in front of our face and chest. Wonderful. We're going to stay standing for our first flow here, so grab a quick sip of water if you need it. And we'll go ahead and set up for our lunge flow. So we'll start in our neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward. I'm going to keep my right foot planted where it's at, and I'm going to step my left foot behind me about 2 to 3 steps. So we're in a standing lunge position. Remember to keep an external object nearby if you need a little support for your balance. As much as this is a stretch, it is a balance exercise as well. Once we've reached that lunge, standing lunge position, we're going to go into warrior one. So we're going to inhale and raise both arms overhead. My hips are still pointing forward to 12 o'clock, as well as my right knee. And my back foot, I can be on my toes, or I can try to press my heel all the way down into the mat. Doing what feels good. You might get a little more stretch in your calf if you push your heel down. But right now we're just reaching both arms up towards the ceiling at a little bit of an angle. And let's just take a few deep breaths here. Really trying to pull your hands as far away from that back left heel as possible. Let's go ahead and exhale and drop those arms back down. Keeping in this lunge position, go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your back, and let's open our chest up towards the ceiling. And go ahead and take your nose up towards the ceiling as well, just to really open up the chest and shoulders. And you have the option to stay here or shift into a humble warrior, keeping that chest opener stretch, but just leaning your chest down towards the floor. Take a few deep breaths here, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's go ahead and release that chest opener stretch. We can step our left foot back to meet our right underneath our hips. And we'll go ahead and switch sides. Keeping our left foot where it's at, let's step our right foot behind us about 2 steps, 2 to 3 steps. So we're in that standing lunge position. If your hips have turned slightly to the right, go ahead and point them back forward to 12 o'clock. And we'll go back into that warrior one stretch where we inhale. Take both arms up overhead, fingertips to the ceiling. And let's go ahead and shift our weight just slightly into that front leg so we can stretch out the back leg, creating as much space between your hands and your back right heel as you can. Let's take one more big breath here. In through your nose. And as you exhale, you can go ahead and release those arms down. Let's go ahead and interlace, keeping that lunge stance. Let's interlace our fingers behind our back. Chest opener stretch. And take your nose to the ceiling. Really just feeling those shoulders open up and release. Option to stay here or to shift into that humble warrior where we just take our chest down towards the floor. Feeling that great stretch in our hamstrings, inner thighs, shoulders, chest. Also working a little bit of our balance. You may feel your ankles working for you. That's great. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and raise yourself back to standing. You can step your right foot back to meet your left. So now we're back in that neutral standing position. We're going to do some side bend and reaching. So starting from, let's take our feet just slightly outside of our hips. I'm going to inhale, raise my right arm up overhead from the shoulder. Left hand's going to go to my left hip. I'm going to push my hips to the right as I reach my right hand over to the left. Really just turning our body into a print letter C shape. Then we're going to switch, taking right hand to right hip, raising left arm up overhead, pushing hips to the left, and reaching our overhead arm to the right. And just go ahead and alternate nice and slowly between these two side bends. Should be feeling some stretching in those back muscles, the obliques, maybe even a little inner and outer thigh. But the key is to keep your chest forward, not down towards the ground, but rather out in front of us. Remember to take that big inhale when you're in the center, big exhale as you reach. Good. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. And once you get back to center, go ahead and stay there. We can let our arms relax. And we're going to take our feet out wide again for a wide standing forward fold. So take your feet out wide, about 2 steps outside of your hips. And we're going to take a big inhale and exhale as we reach our arms and hands down towards the floor. Right in the center of our 2 wide feet. And just let your head and neck hang. Just totally relax all those muscles. Let your head and arms hang down. And let's slowly, gently walk our hands or take our reach over to the left. You can find your left leg if you need a little extra support, or you can use a yoga block or any kind of object if your hands aren't quite towards the floor. Let's gently take ourselves back to center and then walk or reach hands over to the right, towards your right foot or right leg. And remember, we're just letting all of those upper body muscles relax and just hang. Let gravity pull. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to center. Gently inhale and raising yourself up to standing. Let's step our feet back together and slowly make your way down to the mat in a tabletop position. So knees will go under your hips and hands, wrists, elbows, and shoulders will all be stacked. Chest is towards the floor. We're going to do a little kneeling calf stretch here. So we'll start from this tabletop position. Let's go ahead and extend our right leg straight back behind us. Our toes will stay planted in the mat. And we're just going to push that right heel towards the wall behind us. trying to lengthen that or those calf muscles. And you can add a gentle kind of push and pull of that heel. So make it a little dynamic by just kind of rocking forward and backward on the toes. If you are one of those people going skiing and snowboarding this weekend, this will be a great stretch when you're done. And let's go ahead and bring that right knee back underneath right hip. And let's switch it up, extending the left leg straight back behind us and pushing the left heel towards the wall behind us. And go ahead and add that gentle forward and backward rock on the toes if you would like. And let's go ahead and bring left knee back underneath left hip. We're going to shift into a puppy stretch. So I want you to walk your hands away from your body, away from your hips. We're going to keep our knees under our hips. We might widen them just a little bit, but we're going to keep our hips up in the air as we walk our hands away from our body. So it's similar to a child's pose where we're just reaching those hands as far away from us as possible, but we're keeping our hips up in the air, knees are planted, and we're just gently kind of pushing our chest towards the floor and keeping our hips up. And option to stay here in this puppy, or if you want to raise the knees, tuck the toes and raise the knees and hips off of the, out of that into a down dog, you have that option. Both are stretching that posterior chain, the back, shoulders, hips, hamstrings. And on your next breath, whether you're in puppy or down dog, let's go ahead and bring our right knee up, kind of towards our chest, in between our hands. And we can lower ourselves all the way down for a pigeon pose or pigeon stretch. So my right knee is forward, my left leg is trailing behind me, and I've kind of just let my body come all the way down on top of that right knee that's folded. You can stay on your hands if you'd like, or you can come down to your forearms, whatever is comfortable. We're just gently stretching those glute muscles, some of our hips. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and switch it up by either going back up into the down dog or back into your puppy for just a few short breaths. And then we'll go ahead and take the left knee down between our hands. Right leg trails back behind us. We're now the pigeon stretch on the left side. Remember, you can stay on your hands and just fold the chest over the left thigh, or you can come down to your forearms. But we're fully relaxed. Just taking those deep breaths, seeing if with every exhale you can sink a little further down into the mat or into that left thigh. And on your next breath, we can go ahead and take that left knee back underneath left hip, and we'll just come back to a tabletop position here with my wrists, elbows, shoulders all stacked, and my knees under my hips, calves trailing behind me. From here, let's actually go ahead and raise our hands off of the mat. So now we're just in a kneeling position. I'm going to take my hands to my lower back. My palms are kind of resting on my lower back. And I'm just going to gently push my hips forward, guide my hips forward kind of from the lower back. Stretching out the front of the hips, the hip flexors. And just taking some deep breaths. And feel free to add a gentle rock if you'd like, kind of pushing the hips backward and then taking them forward again, but keeping your hands on your lower back to guide and support. And once you come back to center, we can take our hands back down to the floor in tabletop. And we're just going to do some cat-cow stretches. Remember to keep your breathing tied into the movement. We'll start by catting to the ceiling. So we will round our, we'll start with cow by rounding our back, tilting our hips up towards the ceiling and our nose with an inhale. And then we will exhale and cat by pushing our hips forward, rounding our backs, and pushing our shoulders away from our palms. And we'll just alternate between those two. Inhale, arching. Exhale, rounding. This is just an all-around great mobility stretch. Really hits it all: shoulders, abdominals, hips. And just a great way to move the spine. And on your next breath, go ahead and come back to center, to neutral. And we'll walk our hands away from us just slightly. We'll widen our knees out to the sides of our mat or outside of our hips. And then we're going to shift our hips back towards our heels for a child's pose. Remember, you can take your forehead all the way to the floor here if you would like, just to really relax. And let's walk our fingertips over to the left side of our mat. And we're going to push our right hip to the right, kind of taking it away from our hands, creating that space, deepening that stretch. And go ahead and walk those fingertips back to center, and then we'll walk them over to the right side of the mat, and we will pull that left hip to the left away from those hands. Once again, creating that space. And let's take those fingertips back to center and slowly walk them towards your body, bringing yourself back upright. And we're going to flip around to a seated position, seated on the mat. So we'll be seated here. Our legs are extended out in front of us. We're going to go into a seated figure 4 stretch. So I'm going to take my right foot. I'm going to bring it in, and the bottom of my right foot is going to come to the inside of my left thigh. And my right knee is going to fall out to the side. So it kind of looks like maybe a half butterfly, but our left leg is still extended out in front of us. And let's go ahead and gently reach both of those hands towards that left foot that is extended away from us. Keeping the right foot along the inner thigh or knee. We're getting a great stretch in the right hip, a little bit of right glutes, as well as the left hamstrings. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring your hands back towards your body, raising yourself to upright seated. And let's switch out our legs. So we're going to extend our right leg back out in front of us, and our left leg will come in. Bottom of left foot goes to inside of right thigh. Left knee gently falls out to the side. And once again, we'll inhale. And as we exhale, let's reach both hands towards our right foot out in front of us. Just tying breath into all of our movements. It's a great practice, whether you're stretching or weightlifting, running, just being able to control your breath is a great skill or practice. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and bring your hands back towards your body, raising yourself back up to seated. And let's go ahead and shift into a butterfly stretch. So we'll keep that left foot where it's at, and we'll just bring the bottom of the right foot to meet the bottom of the left foot, and both knees will fall out to the sides. Butterfly stretch. And let's challenge ourselves to have good posture. So we'll make sure our chest is proud. We have that imaginary string on the crown of our head, kind of pulling us upright. We're going to add a gentle twist to our butterfly. So I'm going to take my right hand back behind me for support. My left hand is going to come to the top of my right knee. I'm just going to gently turn my shoulders to the right for that twist. Let's just take a few deep breaths here. And feel free to add some neck stretches. Taking right ear down to right shoulder, left ear to left shoulder. On your next breath, let's go ahead and come back to center. Take one deep breath here. And then we will take that left hand back behind us. Right hand comes to top of left knee, gently twisting the shoulders and chest to the left. And again, can add those gentle neck stretches. This time we'll nod our head. So we'll take chin down to chest and then nose up to the ceiling. Remembering to breathe. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and come back to center. And let's make our way down to a lying position on our backs. And if you have a yoga strap, go ahead and grab that for our next stretch. So we'll come to a full lying position on our backs. Our legs are extended. Our arms are down by our sides. From here, let's go ahead and flex our right foot, and then we're going to raise that right foot up towards the ceiling. My hands can either grab the back of that right thigh, or I can use that yoga strap on my foot. But we're going to keep that right leg extended towards the ceiling, stretching the back of the leg. Our hips are staying planted. And let's go ahead and add some ankle movement. We'll point the toes and we'll pull them towards our shin. And we're seeing with every exhale if we can pull that leg a little closer to our face. We're keeping it as straight as possible. And let's go ahead and switch it out. We'll drop that right leg down, let the leg relax. We'll flex the left foot and gently raise the left leg up. Left foot's toward the ceiling. Left leg is pulled as close as it can be to my face, while keeping the leg straight. Slight bend in the knee is okay. And hands are behind the left thigh or left knee, or we're using a yoga strap on the bottom of our foot. Let's go ahead and add that ankle movement, pointing the toes, pulling the toes. And let's take the left leg back down. And let's keep the left knee bent and left foot flat on the mat. We're going to go into that lying figure 4 stretch. So left knee is up towards the ceiling, left foot is flat. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my right ankle and place it on the top of that left knee or left thigh. And then my right knee will gently fall out to the right. And I'm just using my hands to gently guide that right knee away from my chest and body. Option here if you want a little deeper stretch to interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and raise the left foot off of the mat. Great stretch in the right hip. Let's go ahead and release that right leg. We'll take the right foot flat on the mat, right knee up to the ceiling, and we'll switch sides. So now the left ankle will go to the top of the right thigh, right knee. Left knee gently falls out to the side. Using my hands to gently push that left knee away from me. Stretching out the left hip. Or if, once again, we want that deeper stretch in the hip, we'll interlace our fingers behind our right thigh and raise our right foot off of the floor. Remembering to take those deep breaths, seeing if with every exhale our body releases a little bit more. On your next breath, go ahead and release that left leg. And let's take both feet flat on the mat, both knees up towards the ceiling. And then let's gently, keeping our knees together, let's drop them down over to the left side and roll our upper body as well. So now we are just lying on our left side with our knees stacked. And then I want you to extend your left arm and right arm out from your shoulders so your palms are together. So we're lying on our side. Our arms and hands are stacked and our knees are stacked as well. Keeping your knees stacked and hips stacked where they're at, I want you to just gently inhale. And then we're going to take that right hand away from the left and we're going to open it up overhead and then out to the side. So we're kind of opening now. We're in that T arm position. Our chest has rotated towards the ceiling and both palms are facing the ceiling now. And then we'll gently exhale and we'll rotate back so that right hand meets the left hand again. And we're just repeating there. Inhale, opening up the arms, and exhale, closing them. Gentle T-spine rotation. And we're really trying to keep those knees planted as we open our arms up. Go for one more breath here. And staying on our left side, you can find a comfortable place for your left arm if you want to use your left bicep kind of as a pillow. We're going to do a quad stretch. So let's extend our left leg or bottom leg out long. So now we're lying on our side. Our left leg is long. And we're going to bend our right knee and take our right heel towards our glutes. And you can use a yoga strap here as well if you want to wrap it around that right ankle to pull the ankle close to your glutes. Stretching the right quadriceps group. And if it doesn't feel great to do this stretch on your side, I always recommend you can do it on your stomach. What matters is you're pulling the right heel toward the right glutes, and you're using either your hand to help pull that stretch or a yoga belt. On your next exhale, go ahead and release that right leg back out long. Let's roll back onto our backs. Get both knees up towards the ceiling, both feet flat on the ground. And we'll switch sides now. So keeping the knees together, let's gently let them drop over to the right. And let's extend our right arm away from the shoulder, palm facing up. And then we'll take the left hand to meet the right hand. And we're lying on our right side now. And let's go ahead with those T-spine rotations. So we'll inhale, take our left hand away from the right and open. Chest towards the ceiling. Left arm goes out from left shoulder, back into those print letter T arms. And then we'll exhale of closing the book and bringing left hand back to meet right hand. And just repeating there. Inhale, open book. Exhale, close book. That's maybe a better analogy. But remember to keep your knees planted. And again, it's very normal to have more rotation on one side than the other. The goal of the exercise is for eventually to be balanced and even on both sides, but it takes practice. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and stay on our side. Remember, you can use that right bicep as your pillow as we go into the quad stretch. So we'll extend the bottom right leg long. Then we'll bend the left knee, taking left heel toward left glutes. And either reaching around with that yoga strap to pull the ankle in closer to the glutes, or reaching with our left arm, left hand, grabbing the ankle and pulling it towards our glutes. Side quad stretch or lying side quad stretch. On your next breath, feel free to release that left ankle, and then let's roll onto our backs once again. And let's bring both knees up and into our chest and give them a big hug with our arms. And let's just gently roll out that lower back, and we'll rock. As we hug the knees into the chest, we'll just rock gently left to right. Giving our lower backs a little massage. And let's gently rock up and down. You can draw circles. And option to stay here, or we will take our yoga belt or our hands and wrap them around the bottoms of our feet for a happy baby stretch. So once we get that support on the bottom of our foot, we're going to extend the knee until the bottoms of our feet come to the ceiling. And we'll just gently rock left to right, happy baby. Taking those last deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And go ahead and release that happy baby. Come back in, hugging knees to chest. And you can slowly roll yourself up to seated. And last but not least, give yourselves a pat on the back. Way to show up today. I hope you're feeling relaxed and stretched. Thank you all so much for being here.